What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. Today we're going to talk about price gaps in the Bitcoin futures price charts. And the reason why those are important is because they always close. They're almost like a black hole. You almost hear the sucking sound from these things. They always draw price back into them. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. You don't need a futures account. You don't need a special trading platform. You can look this up in TradingView. So I'm going to show you how to look that up and go over like the last few gap closes and how that relates to where we are right now. All right, guys, let's dig into this video.
Trade Genius.
Guys, real quick, I'm excited to announce that our day trading money machine, our DTMM that we've used in Thinkorswim, we use that during the day on the ETF room. We finally ported it over to TradingView, and this is kind of like a sneak peek. Really doing a good job here on the daily as far as where to get in short and long. And not going to be perfect, no indicator is, but I think this is just a snapshot from back to May. And as you can see, short here, long here, long here. Next signal was short here, and that rolled over nicely, and we had a long back on August 13th. I wish I had this thing up and running on this chart sooner, but it took some time to get it programmed and ported over. But I'm really excited about this. This thing has a nice probability on entries for, especially this is on the daily chart of Bitcoin. So what I'm doing, and to commemorate breaking 17,000 subscribers, if you want to get this fall special, this is the ETF crypto room and binary signals. I'll throw in that indicator. That's the DTMM. So if you sign up for that in the next 24 hours on this, just mention the indicator special from Phil's video, and that's going to be thrown in. All right, let's take a look at this Bitcoin gap chart. So guys, what you're going to do on this is you're going to type in BTC, or actually Bitcoin, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go over to futures. Click on futures right there, and what we want is a CME futures. Click that, and you're going to select the BTC1 exclamation mark. That's the continuous current contract in front. Just click on that. Now don't worry about having futures data feed or stuff. This is all end of day information, so it's free in TradingView. So basically, what you just to kind of go back and walk through, how this works. Let's close all this up here. All right, so this is when the futures started, and if we actually let's do this. Let's zoom way in and kind of walk through the levels here. So what we're looking for is gaps. Now, you guys, some of you already know what this is, so we'll talk about kind of where we're at currently at the end of this walkthrough real quick. But if you're not familiar with it, cryptos, as you know, doesn't have price gaps in most of their charts because why? Cryptos trade 24/7. Now, in traditional markets, futures and stocks, you do get gaps in the chart because the regular trading sessions close, even the extended sessions close, and they don't reopen until the next day, and then you have a price gap. On futures, the session closes for an hour or two at the end of the day, and then they reopen on like the index futures like S&P 500 and things like that. So those during the week, you don't really run into that. It's over the weekend when you have like a weekend move in crypto, you get these gaps because the futures market reopens relative to where the price is come Sunday evening when the futures markets reopen. And if we've had a big move over the weekend, that creates a gap from the Friday close to the Sunday evening reopen. All right, so that's what happens on those types of markets. Now, interestingly, and this has always been the case with gaps, they end up closing. Sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it happens within a week. A lot of times they happen within a relatively short amount of time. But if you notice on this chart here, you'll see where, actually, let me turn off this volume profile just so we can, there we go. So you can see here, this is a gap. So closed here, reopened up higher. So the gap would be this. We'll do a horizontal line real quick here. All right, so we'd be looking for that to pull back and close. And so what happens is it does that, it pulls back. That one didn't quite close, but that's kind of the price action you're looking for, an initial bounce off. and then it finally does close all the way right there. Okay, so that gap's done. So if we keep going, you know, this was another small gap here, and right at this level here, and but very small, it closed right away. We're kind of more interested in the larger gaps. Here's a big gap, right? So this one is at 75.33. Price going down, going down. Got another gap here, 59.30. Now we got two gaps on the chart. What are we going to do? But you know, that's the thing, is you're going to have, as we show you guys, you're going to have setups for long and short, but you need to be mindful of these levels. So we're going. That gap got really close to closing, and look at, so price comes back, nearly closes that gap, and then tags it, moves up and gets right up to this gap. See how, and so that's, you know, you got to watch these levels. Technically this gap is still open over here. So this is July, and we're rolling, coming back down, haven't quite filled that gap. We've created a new gap here, so we're going to move this down. Since that gap was closed, we're going to move this gap. Boom, that gap is now closed, so this is done. So we'll get rid of that. So now we have this gap at 72.61. We got a small gap here, but that subsequently gets closed there. Again, we're kind of looking for the bigger gaps. And now we're coming up to where we are now. So here we were down here, we closed that gap. This gap's still open, and that's why, you know, these things are pretty powerful. They act like magnets, and here we are storming back up to this level. So getting up to this level here, I mean, you know, buying a dip here, shooting for this 72.61 level on the futures chart is, you know, basically the play at hand. All right, so I just wanted you guys to be aware. Again, there's not a lot of futures data. It started in December, but as you can see already, and we kind of talked about this back in December when the futures opened, that there would be some gaps in that chart. And honestly, I thought there'd be more gaps than what we've seen. I mean, there's been some pretty hefty gaps, but I think that this is so new that it's going to, I think we haven't seen the best of the gaps that are yet to come, and they're going to be very tradable setups, so for targets and stuff like that. So I think that's where we're headed currently. So you know, a few $100s higher than where we currently are right now, and I think that's going to be probably a good target. You probably see some resistance there because people are eyeing that level because they know how price reacts, and you also have some prior resistance there, as you can see over here. So anyway, thought I know we've covered that in the past, but I kind of wanted to show you in a little bit more depth, and now that we're nearing another level, likely target is on to the upside short term. All right, guys, well, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching our videos. Please hit like and subscribe, or ring that bell if you're on your mobile. You get notified on our new content. I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.
Trade Genius.